Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome into your daily read for Thursday, March 30th, 2023. I, of course, want to thank you so much for joining me for this reading. But as always, as we proceed, keep in mind it is general, so apply it as you should. But we're going to begin by pulling from the Flowers of the Night Oracle. But the overall message I got for us for Thursday, worth the wait, worth the wait. So I feel as if you could have already gained this opportunity or this door opening, if you will, and now they're highlighting the fact that it was worth the wait, right? Because it feels like it was a long time coming or just a bit longer than one would have liked or expected. But I do feel like for a lot drawn to the reading, it's more so you preparing, getting ready for, or acquiring this new situation or beginning it, okay? So, of course, it's going to differ from case to case. But at the split deck, we do have sensitivity and death. So I do feel like there's a focus on how sensitive you're feeling these days, being affected by energy, feeling things quite strongly, intuitively, sensitive, okay, teeth is what I'm getting. Very random note, but I do feel like as well sensitive to potentially criticism, even if you're not normally that way, or nasty comments online or something of the sort, or someone just being a bit harsh. But I do feel like your mood will be highlighted one way or in one way, shape, or form. But all the meanwhile, there's a focus on endings naturally, right? So Spirit's saying it was worth the wait to acquire whatever this is for you, or it still is going to be worth the wait, right? Moving forward. But it highlights why specific situations or one in particular for you had to come to an end, okay? To make room for the universe to supply you, to fulfill this necessary or just desired situation. Now, what is it for you individually? Is it love, that perfect connection? Is it, okay, somebody from the past for some, select drawn to the reading, a perfect job for you? I know what it is for me, right? It could be more money, but it feels like this situation will lead to more abundance for you either way. It's definitely worth the long wait is what I'm getting. We have chance. Okay, I almost read that as change. And so yet again, it's another day that highlights change from the past, needing change moving forward to see more for oneself in whatever form that is for you. But it's a Thursday, where Spirit's saying take a chance on what feels intuitively right. It's this feeling that you may be pushed to look within to feel out a situation, to get a better grasp on, a better grip on what you are actually feeling. Because I do feel like a lot drawn to this reading, even if you think you haven't been trusting your intuition enough. And this is coming up for a reason, because even though I'm recording this on Wednesday for me, I was this morning pushed by one of my guides to recognize that I have not been trusting my intuition in regards to one aspect of my life, situation that I've been trying to acquire. So that's naturally what this is about for me. So I just feel like, again, they're pushing the fact that, and it may feel continued, this push might feel continued, to look within and trust your intuition. Because I feel like a lot drawn to this reading may feel like your intuition is heightened at this time, or just growing by the day. But I feel like either way, you have a very strong intuitive way about you. So trust that when you're thinking about taking a chance on something. I really feel like a lot are feeling the inclination or just the push, the feeling to take a chance on love, even if you normally wouldn't, or it has been on your priority list. I'm hearing shooting star. So a feeling that this day also highlights you needing to make an important wish in regards to improving your life or just getting what you want. Clarity. Yeah, it's another day where you're gaining clarity, but I do feel like this leaves you with more questions, wanting more of the bigger picture, not wanting to take a chance and see things fall flat like they once did in the past, potentially in a different situation or with that same one. But I do feel like either way, they're reminding you, if you trust your intuition, you can't go wrong, okay? And if you ignore red flags like you have in the past, you're going to end up with disappointment, period, or just getting hurt in the end, or with less than you deserve. But there's a depth to a connection, I want to say, that has been either ignored or not taken for granted, or just hasn't been fully appreciated. But I feel like as well, there's a depth to something you're creating and developing. And I really do feel like, okay, they're saying your creepy side will take a highlight. There's a depth to why something has taken longer than you would have liked or expected, or both, right? Because I feel like this is going to transform your life for the better. And the wait taught you a lot, right? The space in between, or the space up until that point. It just feels like there was a lot to learn about yourself, a lot to remember, a lot to gain otherwise. Say you've been in between jobs, right? Or in between dating, in between relationships. I feel like healing was a huge part of that, or focusing on something else of true importance for you. Say you were in between relationships and it gave you a true chance to focus on yourself, on your work, right? On healing. But then there are other reasons why you needed to heal, besides, that situation. But I just feel like you are learning more about yourself throughout this day as well, and a sense of being reminded all the meanwhile. Balance, because Spirit's saying there's a situation or two that you left behind in the past. It wouldn't have brought you balance, okay? Even if what you're about to take on is going to leave you with a busier schedule, because I feel like it is either way. Feeling like for a lot it's more so going to be a connection or a career situation, but it could be, a living situation or something of the sort. Spirit's saying just because something's leaving you busier with a more jam-packed schedule, or having to just devote your energy, your resources, your time to who or whatever that is, doesn't mean it should be stripping away your balance, period, okay? And they're saying energy is everything. Energy is everything. And look at that communication, okay? Do you feel like you're communicating with oneself, with the spiritual realm, gaining downloads throughout the day, through other people's readings or through yourself? I do feel like there's a need to clear your throat, and get your voice out there, because it is of importance. I do feel the need to cleanse my energy before we proceed, but I just feel like there's a lot to gain throughout this day and moving forward. And I really do sense that you're being prepared to overcome certain obstacles that may appear to be more bigger or just more serious than they actually are, right? Because your standpoint, your view, and your approach can minimalize the weight of that, or the difficulty of that obstacle, however that looks for you. Let's pull some tarot. Being drawn to an oracle deck to finish this up, but we'll see if I remember. I tend to forget. For Thursday, I'm hearing jumbled in the brain, jumbled in the brain. I feel like there's a lot drawn to the reading where throughout this Thursday at certain points you might feel a bit confused, and that's when the clarity comes in, or shortly after. Or you might just be confusing oneself by overthinking, or just not trusting your intuition once again. But a feeling of you thinking about what you've left behind. And again, a lot drawn to the reading, I feel like this is tied to your money. But you could be thinking about your money, your finances, your career choices and decisions. And then there's a highlight on a past ending in when it comes to a connection, or came to a connection. In Spirit saying, what did that teach you? There's something to learn about a different category of your life. This is a very random reading, but look at that. The 8 of Cups, the 3 of Swords, and the 6 of Swords. A sense of disappointment and heartbreak being highlighted in regards to what you left behind, right? And Spirit saying you had to do what was right for you. You had to prioritize yourself and step away from that situation, or allow for this Tower moment to teach you a lot about yourself and heal from it all the meanwhile moving forward. But I just feel like there was a situation where it could have escalated, or just treated you poorly, or left you with more stress and disappointment than necessary, even if it brought you certain levels of abundance. Does that make sense? And so I feel like you are protected, right? You need to view this past disappointment ending, however it looked for you, whatever it was for you, as a form of protection, right? And for some it was rejection as protection, but either way, this ending was purposeful, okay? And so it's written all over this day. Let's pull more. The 9 of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles, the 3 of Wands, some of which drawn to the reading are stressing out over money, okay? But also Spirit saying if you're stressing yourself out over who you didn't fit in with as much as you thought, right? It feels like a situation you glorified or just was working in your favor or, working out for you in the other individual. And then it just kind of stopped working at a certain point, or that just kind of dissipated. It feels like you're being reminded you're not meant to fit in with a certain type of person or a certain type of job situation at this point along your path, or you never were, right? Even if you settled or just made it work in certain ways or at certain points or both. But a feeling that Spirit's saying what you desire is coming in, right? And I feel like you've seen evidence of this recently, but then you forget, okay? Or you discard that information, that clarity, that awareness, and move on forth with a sense of concern or doubt. And just, I feel like there's also a focus on stress in your life in general, as far as how energy and or spirituality affects you, one if not multiple people you're working with and or living with. I feel like they're going to remind you of somebody who you walked away from in the past, even if this wasn't romantic. Could have been a job situation, it could have been a friend, and they were just bad energy. Bad energy. No one to be associated with is what I'm hearing. And I feel like you would have been wrapped up with them a lot if you did not choose to stroll away. A very, again, Eight of Cups vibe, right? This day highlights you needing to wholeheartedly moving forward and throughout this day, do what's right for you as a soul, because you're going to see a lot of abundance rolling in moving forward, a lot of pride as well coming to be for standing proud in your decisions and your choices, in taking a chance on whatever this is for you. It's well worth the wait. All right. So I hope this was truly helpful. Sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy your Thursday, and I'll see you next time.